Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Season 2, Episode 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. So last time we were kind of just thrust into this flashback, showing Gojo and Gato and all these others we know. Uh, yeah, and we are even introduced to who I assume has to be Fushigoro's father. So a lot of setup last episode. Not too much is actually going down. There's this scene with two of the girl characters uh, exploring this abandoned building and end up, having to deal with basically what amounts to as the Eternity Devil from Chainsaw Man. Um, but they figure out how to break the spell running in opposite directions at once, but do still end up getting saved by Gojo and them, and it all works out. Um, but a lot of it is setting up how Gojo was very different when he was young, how he was a lot more conceited and everything. And we're seeing how Gato was actually the one who was a lot more invested in people and was a lot more, kind and thoughtful. And it's like, okay, these two definitely switched their personalities around at some point. Everyone else seems to mostly be the same, though. Utahime and everyone, it's like, yeah, they're mostly the same. Um, and it's mostly just like it mostly was just getting us into the world. I think the true like story stuff is going to start in this one. Um, that's my guess at least, based off of just the fact that the first one was more introductory or reintroductory, I guess. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see more of this. It was still a really good first episode. Um, yeah, I'm just excited for more Jujutsu Kaisen, honestly. But just as a note, for those who might not have heard, next week I am doing a donation reward appreciation week. And what this means is that there will be no reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen next Friday. Um, since Jujutsu Kaisen is a first impression series on the channel, it does not count for the donation reward appreciation week, which is going to be all donation reward shows and movies and whatnot. Nothing but. So, like I said, because of that, there's not going to be any JJK. So, we will come back to Jujutsu Kaisen the week after. We will get to the next episode, episode 3, like at the beginning of the week or so, and then we'll get to the next episode after that, episode 4, at the end of the week. So there will be 2 Jujutsu Kaisen episode reactions in 2 weeks. The same goes for Link Click. Actually, there will be 3 Link Click episodes that week because we're also going to be going back and doing episode 5.5 of season 1, which we skipped because I felt it was just going to be pointless recap and stuff. But that I mentioned in the Link Click reaction for today, so I talk about that there. But yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a wait, a little bit longer of a wait, just a couple days longer than we would normally have. But yeah, it's not going to be next week just because of what we're doing. But all of that being said, I am nonetheless excited to get into this, and hopefully this story ends up being really, really interesting. I don't know what to expect or how long this arc is going to be, but we'll find out. Always good for more Gojo, though. So, that being said, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, this episode really comes down to just protecting Rico and making sure that none of these enemies can get to her. But there have been definite problems in all of this. Um, but also some interesting developments. I did not know she knew. I thought kind of the point was that she didn't know that like this was all new to her. But instead, no, she knew that she was going to be merged with Tengen, and she seems fine with it. She just wants to, live a normal life, spend time with her friends, go to school, all of that stuff beforehand. She wants to have as much time with them as she can before being assimilated. So that's pretty interesting. On top of this, we see more of Fushiguro in this. We find that he doesn't even seem to know who his own son is, which is really fucked. But he's also very clearly a little unhinged. And not because of his gambling issue, but more so because it's very clear that he has absolutely no sense of ethics or morality or anything. He seems like excessively cold in his demeanor. I don't entirely know how to describe it, but it's like even at points if he's like cracking jokes or seeming like he has like charisma or whatnot, everything he says just comes across as extremely emotionless. Like there's just nothing behind his eyes. And that's actually really freaky as hell, if I'm being honest. And that's a good thing because I like villains like this. Villains who are like just emotionless and dead inside and who have absolutely no qualms about killing people. I have a lot of questions about like what his entire deal in this is going to be and what his like it's clear that he set up this bounty and everything on Rico's head, and it's very clear that he's after her, but I don't think he's part of either the Star Religious group or Q. So the question is, how did he find out about this and why is he after her? Is it because of her potential and everything with the fact that she is the one that Tengen would merge with? Is it because of that? I don't know. I don't know exactly what his goal here is yet. He seems interested in fighting Gojo, but he also acknowledges Gojo's insane level of ability and strength. So I also don't quite know if he thinks he can beat Gojo. It's kind of unclear. Um, I don't know yet, if I'm being completely honest. Um, but yeah, this episode featured some cool action, really interesting technique involving clones. Gojo getting to be badass, which is always fun, and a Shiba Inu. That one kind of threw me off a little bit. It was so random. It's like in the middle of like this fight, you just suddenly the dude is confronted by his Shiba Inu who had been dead for like a decade, I think he said, and it's like it's just his life flashing before his eyes, and we get backstory for this guy. It's like, why? What? Why? I'm so confused. And then we see the what would you call her? The associate, the I guess watchful eye over Rico. She's fighting one of these clones. Gato strolls up and seems like everything's gonna be fine. The clone is like reverts, but then like the next thing we hear from that side, the girl's associate watch caretaker, whatever you would call her again. She's she's been captured, but she was with Gato, so I have a lot of questions as to what happened there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested, of course, but I'm just wondering exactly what we're working towards here. Because obviously we are working towards something. And again, I don't know how long this arc is going to be overall, so I don't know exactly like what we have to wait for. And I don't want to know. So if you know, please do not tell me. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this as always. The joke, the little moment with all these girls like thirsting over Gojo, and then even the teacher. It's like there's issues with that one, but the joke is still funny. Um, Even if there is a little creepiness and weirdness to that, they do call it out at least. Um, but yeah, it's basically just really hammering in the fact that Gojo is canonically hot. Like it's not just like a thing of like, oh, he's just drawn that way and that's for our purposes, our views. No, he is very canonically hot. That is part of his character. um which is really interesting. Because it's like I've seen various anime and movies and video games and whatnot where there are characters who are just canonically hot. It is a thing, but it's not super common. And to see that it's like the stuff with Gojo is like it is a canon part of his character is just funny to me, because it like I'm thinking back to like all the like fanfare that fans threw toward him in with season one and all, myself included, mind you. How like when, especially when he first revealed his eyes and everything, how people just thirsted hard for him, and it's like fair, very fair. I mean, the dude is in his late 20s, I believe. Looks like he's a lot younger than that. Still looks adult, but still. Definitely looks more like early 20s. He's very young looking. But he also, his eyes are just goddamn gorgeous. He's got a great smile. It's like, just everything about him. It's like the creator of this, like when in writing the manga, like just decided to make this canonically super hot character just for the sake of doing so. And it's like, oh, all right, sure. I mean, I'm not upset by this. Um, I've seen like what the like scenes of him like showing his eyes in the manga look like. By the way, it doesn't do it justice. The anime is so much better with that. The colors are a big part of it, and obviously the manga doesn't have the color part, but also it just looks better in the anime. It was just drawn and everything better. Um, but yeah, it's like, Jesus, dude. Everyone thirsts after Gojo, though. It's very popular to thirst after Gojo. Like, that's by no means an unpopular opinion. But yeah, I'm, like I said, excited to see where this goes. So let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen? And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.